up, everybody? Welcome to the Swaggy Vets podcast. I'm your host, Big Pen. I got my co-host and my brother with me. First Swaggy Vet, what's up, man?
What's going on, Pen? What's going on, Swaggy Vets, all our friends and family out there? How y'all doing?
Man, it's a blessed day. We got an amazing guest here. We're here to talk about his amazing journey through the military career and just retired. So we want to bring him on and tell his story because he's got an amazing story to tell. So without any delay, we got coming to the stage Lieutenant Colonel retired Jason Oxner. What's up,
man? What's up, man? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Man, we blessed. How you doing today?
Man, it's a blessing to be here with y'all, man. Waking up, another chance, another choice. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
It's good to be here.
Before we talked, you said you was out in that old Texas heat, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be 100 today in the shade.
Ooh.
So,
man.
That's what it is.
Well, you got what? About another month and a half, and then it might cool down a little bit?
And you know better than me because I just got here in November, so
okay.
I don't know.
I was in El Paso, and it's hot all the time. So,
oh, yeah.
They don't call it.
Heat out there, though.
Yeah, they don't call it Hell Paso for nothing. But yeah, man. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So when you was little, what inspired you to say, "Hey, I want to join the Army"? What inspired you to do that?
I don't know. Was it growing up watching G.I. Joe? I don't know. My pops was in the military back in I got an old pops back in the 60s, the 82nd.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, he was reminiscing about paratrooper days. He was in Germany, and he was with the when they did that thing in the Dominican Republic back in the early 60s with 82nd. So he was a part of that.
Wow.
And I always looked up to him. And plus, I just don't know. I guess it resonated with me and something I needed as far as being a boy, a bad little kid that I was,
Yeah, I think we all got that story coming up. I know me. I kind of got, lost in my ways and was getting into some tomfoolery and decided to, because one day I just decided to move in with my buddy, and I was only 17. I wasn't old enough to register myself in school. So I said, so I kind of dropped out of high school, and then I was working, wasn't doing that with my life, and then I just had an epiphany, or kind of like a divine intervention with myself. Said, what am I doing with my life? So I ended up going to Job Corps and then coming to the military. So we all got our paths that we got to take, and that moment you say, what am I doing? I need to do something.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with failing early, and I guess you failed early at like 17.
Yes. Absolutely.
Could imagine trying to have that conversation now. What you're going to do at what I know. I'm not going to say your age. You're a man of a certain age.
I'm old, man. I'm in my 40s.
Just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with failing early. And I kind of I don't know, Army. It kind of is what I needed. It's where I was supposed to be when I got there.
Okay. So you came in. What did you initially do? What was your job?
So I did I don't know if y'all remember this or not, delayed entry program. So I turned 17 in 97, and I signed my contract like 8 days after I turned 17.
Wow.
So I signed that contract in 97, and I went to basic in 98, and I took the MOS of a 63 whiskey wheel vehicle mechanic. And I got a bonus too. I can't remember how much it was. I got a bonus for that, y'all. It was I can't remember how much it was. It was 4 digits, which was a lot of money for me back then.
Absolutely.
Where were you from? Where did you initially?
Oh, so I'm from Prosperity, South Carolina. If you Google it, it's like a population of 1,100 people. Country, South Carolina. Zero opportunity. It's still that way to today. So I couldn't imagine being in the position I'm in right now. From back then, I thought I thought the pinnacle of my life back then was a double wide trailer. But
Wow.
yeah. So look, I mean, just time putting in that work, But a lot of people don't want to put in the work up front, and that's what I did. So like, I didn't play sports in high school. I worked, and same thing in college. It was all work. No.
So did you initially go to college while you were in the military? How'd that work out?
So I graduated in '98 from high school, and I went directly to basic training AIT. And like after that, I was a reservist. So I was like, I didn't know like what I'm gonna do with my life. And my mother, being her, she got me accepted into Claflin. And so that next spring of '99, I went to Claflin University for my first semester. Yeah.
Claflin University.
Yeah. It's HBCU, a real small HBCU in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Which is because I went to a white high school. My high school mascot was the Rebels. So
oh wow.
Yeah, so the Confederate flag, all that stuff never bothered me because it's been around me my whole life. Like they have it at my game all the time. Like, okay, what? Like I watched Dukes of Hazzard, it didn't bother me. So it's just how I grew up.
Okay.
And so when I said to say I went to a HBCU, it was like heaven on earth, if you know what I mean. In the late '90s.
Because it's like night and day from your high school to going to HBCU. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good time. It was a real good time.
Heck yeah. Did you did you get the opportunity to pledge any fraternities or anything?
I never had the grades.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, so I went to Claflin that first semester, and then the next semester I transferred to South Carolina State, and that's why I ended up graduating from.
Okay, South Carolina State. Now is South Carolina State, what was their mascot?
Oh, the Bulldog.
The Bulldogs? Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Bulldog.
What
Did
did
you play
you major in?
Oh, criminal justice. So listen, like once I found out about how I sat down with Rodney Jenkins, was my first ROTC instructor. He's mean as hell. He's still mean to the day. I get around him, I feel like a cadet. But so he laid out the whole program on how it worked from freshman to senior. I'm like, this is a natural progression of what I'm doing. Like, why not? So I joined ROTC, and I was a 4-year non-scholarship cadet at South Carolina State in ROTC.
Now, since you were already, and you was a reservist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does a reservist work and going to school? How did you balance that?
So with they have a program called SMP, so simultaneous military program, something like that. So basically, I'm a cadet, and I was a specialist at the time. So after my junior to senior year, I when I go to drill, I wear a cadet rank. I stopped wearing my enlisted rank.
Okay.
So ROTC would pay me, and I would get my reserve checks. I needed that money, so it was a hustle to me. Not really a hustle, it was my job. So back then, that would cover my rent. That was like $450 a month.
Okay.
Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Back then, like this is 99, 2000. Like that was a nice chunk of change for me back then, and I had a job, so I was out here looking fresh. Cause that was my whole motivation of doing it. To pay rent and to be fresh.
Now, was it kind of like, because you was already been through basic training and all that stuff, did that help you excel as ROTC person?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was light years in front of like a regular cadet that was just a civilian coming in, because like a lot of stuff that they thought sucked didn't matter to me. Like going to the field for a weekend, like come on, man, this ain't nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. PT, like it's nothing. All that stuff, but it's a lot of stuff that I learned through the guys that came in front of me, like Maurice Green, he retired lieutenant colonel. It's just so many guys that helped me out as a cadet, helped me, and plus I passed on the guys that came behind me too.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Because just me thinking of having that experience, going through basic training, then you go to AIT. Now you're in college, and then you can take everything you learn there and implement it. And then you can, even as a first year ROTC person, you can kind of train and mentor maybe some people that are above you because you already have a bunch of that knowledge.
Yeah. But see, like with me, I just sit back and like act like I'm a regular old civilian cadet until it's time to to make something. I'm like, oh, how you know that? Oh yeah, well I'm in the reserve. I've been I was a base trained 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So, but also about South Carolina State ROTC program is like I wouldn't know where I would be at without it. It's like one of those programs that it really helped me out because I was a C student all through college and high school. So it helped me get across that finish line as far as because I knew my goal was to get commission. And I knew if I got commission, I had a job. And that was the main thing.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you love our content, and we hope you do, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Let's go.
But that job came at a price too.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
So with all that stuff, because I know I have 2 daughters that are in college, and they actually have full rides, and plus, since I'm 100%, they get a stipend from the VA, but they still have to work.
Yeah.
Did you have to work and maintain all that while you were in college?
Yeah, like I said, I don't come from a rich family. My mother and father worked regular people. So yeah, I had a car. I had a car payment. I had rent. My mom paid my car insurance. Thank God for her. But all that other stuff that I had to figure it out. I worked too. I would all that ROTC stuff taken up every other weekend. Doing color guard at football games, stupid stuff like that. Yeah, I worked too. Because once again, like back then, one of my main things, I wanted to have money to go out and I wanted to have money to look good. And I had both. Because I worked. Nobody didn't give me none of that.
You said I had to stay fresh.
Yeah, I had to stay fresh. It was a must. I mean, like a lot of people don't know the HBCU culture is like, yo, you gotta be fresh. You step outside. Titian is fresh.
Now back then we wore you wore BDUs, yeah?
Yeah, I came in BDU.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is starch uniform, shine boots. Was you that guy?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, like I don't know. Like my wife tell me to the day, they like you ate the you took the pill for indoctrination because I still fold my socks the same way. Yeah. You gotta be. You don't want to be out there looking raggedy. You never know who you might run up against. Like hey man, what you got going on? You never know. And that to the day, you got when you step outside, be presentable. Yeah, you never know, you might run into an opportunity out there, and
absolutely.
You got holes in your shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my wife gets angry because she'll do my laundry and fold my socks a certain way, then I'll refold them because I like them a certain way.
You can't shake it, huh?
Yeah, I can either. Yeah, because we're used to folding them and rolling them in a certain way so it fits.
Yeah.
So I still incorporate that in my everyday life. It's crazy. I just can't shake it. Just like you were saying.
I can't shake it either.
All right, so Jason, tell me about when you was a wheel mechanic. How was that like?
I learned a lot. I learned so much that now, like, I learned so much as far as being a mechanic. Like, it when I be working on stuff, like I still work on stuff now, it come back to me. It was a good school. It was at Edgewood, Aberdeen Proving Grounds back then. Now it's at Fort Jackson. But and my reserve unit was trash, by the way, too. I mean, it is what it is. But like, I never turned a wrench the whole time I was in reserves. Like, not one wrench. But it learned a lot as far as being a mechanic and stuff. Even to this day, like I can figure stuff out with cars and trucks. It's too easy. It's a great school.
And then after that, what did you decide to do after that? So,
okay, this is story time. We tried it out. You probably never heard this, but it might blow your mind. So I went to HBCU, remember, and I graduated in December of 2003. So if you know what was going on in 2003, it was an invasion, right? So we was invading Iraq. So it was a push. They wanted more black officers in combat arms, right? I don't know if y'all know about this. So we went to ROTC camp. They call it NALC, National Army Leadership Camp, something like that, at Fort Lewis back in 2002. So in that year, every regiment, because you go in regiments, every regiment has a career day where they have SF show up, infantry, quartermaster, CA, all the branches, everybody show up with cool equipment. Like they had the 11 Bravos had snipers, they had ghillie suits, and they had the special forces with full kit on and stuff back then. So they had these buses. They said, okay, all the black cadets, all the black male cadets, get on these buses. And we're gonna take it to our auditorium. Like, it was so funny. Like, cats was like, what? Like, where we going? Like, this is weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine you get all the black guys in the place and you take them somewhere where everybody else get to stay. So we go to the theater. It's a field artillery lieutenant colonel and it's an 06 infantry. Both of them black. All these black officers. He said, all right, guys, we got to show y'all a video about combat arms. I tried to find this video. It's on YouTube somewhere. I think I found it one time. But anyways, the video is this black officer. No, black cadet. He's getting ready to get assessed by branch. So he asking his dad. He's like, Dad, what branch should I put first? Blah, blah, blah. He said, son, what about infantry? He's like, well, all right, I'm gonna try infantry. So you see him going to infantry. It's like a montage. So he go to infantry school. He go to ranger school. He go to airborne school. He go to like a high speed unit, like 82nd. You see him jumping out of airplanes. He got a wife. He like, look, fast forward. This year's not a road. He's like, look, I think I'm gonna get out. It's like, okay, what about the so what about the commissary and the
PX?
He's like, don't worry about it. So fast forward, he go to a job interview. So he go to a job interview. He got a suit on. He sit down in front of this white guy. He like, look, the white guy. Oh, he said, oh wow. He look at his resume. Oh wow, you jump out of airplanes, and he get the job. And that's the end of the video.
Congratulations.
So imagine, right? It's the auditorium full of black cadets, like packed. I mean, from front to back. And he's like, y'all want some questions about combat arms? And there's this cat, man. I wish I could find him. He stood up. He's like, what? He said, hold on. He said, let me get this straight. Y'all trying to get black people in the combat arms. He said, I think this is a bunch of malarkey. I ain't never heard nobody use malarkey. No, I ain't lying. Malarkey? No, I ain't lying, because how can I make it up? He said, this is a bunch of malarkey, and I can't believe this is so offensive. And like these two majors, they was field artillery. I remember they came down, they grabbed him, and they like walked him out the back. So, with all that being said, is more to it than the video. Yeah. So, if you went to a HBCU, you were black male. Your top 3 picks had to be combat arms.
Wow.
So I put like field artillery, blah blah. I can't remember. ADA, infantry was not. So it came back. So that's summer of 2002, December. Infantry branch detail. Quartermaster. So that I'm like, damn. And that was like the same month that girl got kidnapped. If you remember that, she got taken to POW. I want to say.
Yeah, I remember that in Iraq.
In Iraq, I was like, damn. Oh well, that's what it is. but believe it or not, I had a lot of guys that had. Matter of fact, a friend of mine, he dropped out of ROTC, got infantry. He couldn't. He said nope. He never went back in the military. So. Yeah. Now, I know there's a long story, but I know y'all get a kick out of it. I know y'all never heard about it.
No, what is it? What was the biggest challenges with the transition?
So like it's crazy. Like one day you're a cadet, the next day you're a second lieutenant, and I got commissioned on like the 12th of December, and January 4th, I was at Fort Benning, man. Taking a PT test, you know, right outside Building 4, you know, on the dirt track over there. I don't know if y'all remember that. Taking a PT test. Damn, it's way too real. You know, I don't know how infantry Bolic is now, but I went to infantry ROBC, and it's interesting, man, because like those captains back then did not play with us. The platoon tax did not play. All Ranger qualified. A couple of combat vets. It wasn't that many combat vets out there, but they did not play around. And thank God, because you know it probably saved my life in Iraq.
When you was at Benning, was able to go to any schools?
Listen, I ain't go to Ranger school because I can't swim. I ain't waste my time. You know, so I'm not gonna waste their time. I'm not gonna waste my time. So I ain't go down there because I didn't swim. But I was the airborne mech leader, and that was it. And they sent me on to Stewart.
Did you get a chance to jump in Stewart?
Oh no. Yeah, I'm 5 jump. I went to airborne school. That's it. I ain't seen the airplane since.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. You went there and then okay, yeah.
So with infantry officers, a lot of people don't know. It's a blank. It's whatever you want to do at Benning. For the most part, you can get in trouble if you get in school that you're not supposed to be in. But for the most part, you can run it up. You can sneak into schools. They'll let you in if they got open slots. That's how we got in airborne school. We just went down there one Friday, and okay, what's your social? And we got in.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How was
So
your first
you can
jump?
go in them schools you want to.
How was that first jump like?
Man, listen, I wasn't scared. I was scared. People's like, oh, I wasn't scared after the first jump. I was scared every jump. So
Man, I was my first jump. Oh my God, I was the doorman on my very first jump.
no, thank you.
Man, I really had to second guess some decisions in my life right there. But
what am I doing right now with my life?
yeah, because I was sitting there, and you know we was jumping the C-130s, and it was crazy because my jump master, he was a little Asian dude. He was short. I say about 5'2", 5'3". And when he lifted that C-130 door and that wind came rushing in, he looked at me, went, "Whoa!" I said, "What is going on?"
Hey man, I was scared. Benning got that dry heat in summer.
Yeah.
And there's no wind, right? So we're practicing slip-aways and you know how you supposed to land and everything on the rocks. So I'm thinking this is how you're gonna land when you hit the ground. So we go to the tower. What was it? How high is that tower?
The 234
foot tower?
No, the big one.
Yeah, 34 foot. Oh, the big tower.
That's 250 feet.
Yeah, the 250 feet. And they let
one
when you hang it from the parachute.
Yeah.
And they let you go. Man, this guy came down like a sack of laundry. I'm talking about there was no feet, knees just hit the ground, and everybody and right before Benning, everybody was watching. He just hit, and his body just collapsed, like everything looked like it just broke.
Oh my Lord!
Oh
man, I saw the instructor start to run towards him, and I was like, oh man, who's next?
Hey, I was lucky because I went in July, and it was so hot. And ground week, July 4th was on a Wednesday. So we had that Wednesday off. You know, ground week, you just falling all week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those first 2 days, we would just hit the ground. And Wednesday we had off. I said, thank God. I slept the whole day.
Man, that break probably saved your life.
It probably did, man.
So that's why I tell people when you go, you got to go during a 4-day weekend. I had a Memorial Day. So the whole school was in 10 days. And if you add graduation 11 days.
Yeah,
so we did jumping in 2 days. We did all the jumping in 2 days.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But man, talking about soil.
Yeah, they're trying to get you out of there.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got that 5-mile run at the end in formation.
Yeah, calling cadence.
Yep. So as a platoon leader in Iraq, man, What's the most memorable challenges you face, like doing patrols, and how'd you keep motivated and focused?
I don't know, man. It's just going on so many missions. It's crazy. Like I look back, just going out every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day is crazy. Just trying to stay vigilant, not get complacent is the thing that complacent what get you killed, man.
100%.
And you see, like, it just, I don't know what state. I guess my faith in God, man. Just every day, man. Lord's Prayer every day, man. Every day. That's it. Like, just you know how it is. Like back 2005, Southwest Baghdad, it was no joke. And you see all kind of crazy stuff with just staying focused and having faith. It this too must come to an end, and just you gotta believe, you have faith that you're gonna leave, you're gonna go back home the way you came.
You was on BIOP?
I was at Falcon.
Camp Falcon?
Yeah.
Really? We was at Camp Falcon for a while. This is 03 though, when we first in March.
What unit?
82nd.
Okay. So what you call it? First Cal followed y'all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we came out the first Cal.
Matter of fact, I didn't know at the time, but looking back, there's a motivational speaker. He's a Navy SEAL, Jocko Willink. So his Navy SEAL unit was there at Falcon when we was there, and I didn't even know. I knew there was a SEAL unit there, but after reading his book and hearing about him talk on podcasts, he was at Camp Falcon the same time we were. I was like, man, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
But we were at Camp Falcon, huh? I'm sorry.
It's like it's the last stop before you leave the city.
Yeah,
on the west side. So I get a lot of people operated out of that camp.
Yeah, we was there for a while, and then we moved to BIOP. So I was right off the flight line in BIOP.
Yeah, man. One of my biggest memories of that time in Iraq is just going to Victory and BIOP and just seeing how serious they were taking it. It was like at one point it was like over 200,000 people on BBC. And just see that, it's like, wow. The might of the American Army is crazy.
Not only that, we had the CIA, the FBI was over there doing stuff too, so it was crazy.
Spooky people.
Yeah, man. We used to have these smokers. We had a boxing ring at BIOP, and I remember they had this FBI dude fight, and he fought a Marine. Man, this Marine destroyed this dude in the ring. It was fun though. It was fun because everybody was out there. All you see was a bunch of DCUs just hanging out, having a real good time. I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Oh man, I forgot about DCU. Yeah, I was DCU. That was DCU.
How was your so that was your combat experience while you were there?
I mean, obviously, being in the combat, got CIB during that time frame. Our thing for our sector was, because we had senators. I don't know if you know that role. We had senators. We had a section of senators at that time. We had we was responsible for, I guess, policing up IEDs, if that's a thing.
IED is fairly new.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but not too crazy. Because I look at it, my experience. I talked up like, damn, but it was all right, But I want to say probably my best year in the Army. I learned a lot, especially about leadership, and how a platoon really works. And like my first platoon sergeant, like, hell, he ran it, but when he left, I ran it. So it's just learning about personalities, working with 38 guys every day for a year, knowing their ticks, knowing my squad leaders, knowing my section leaders, knowing how to motivate people to do stuff, how to just it's a real good lesson. It's a blessing to grow up in the infantry and then transition to support units and stuff like that, because you could tell the officers as you grow up that didn't have that experience, far as having that built-in resiliency from being out there, seeing messed up stuff, and knowing this PowerPoint, fast forward 10 years, like, hey, this PowerPoint slide ain't really a big deal. There's no need to panic. We need
that product.
You know, I have seen people lose it over the wrong font. Literally, it's
Oh,
Tomahawk or Arial, and people lose their mind. I have seen this as an officer. Like, what? This is what you about to have an aneurysm over font? Okay.
I've always worked the best officers I've worked with were ones that listen to their senior NCOs and listen to their NCOs that have way more experience in them. And the ones that listen, and just like you're talking about, you had a really good platoon sergeant and you kind of fed off him, and then you were able to do stuff when he left. So that's definitely good.
Yeah. It's just it kind of like when he left, because I had a point where I didn't have a platoon sergeant because he went to be the battalion master gunner, and he was a real, like, he like kicked people in the teeth, like he cussed, he fussed, he screamed, but he got stuff done in his own way, and I had to figure out how to get stuff done in my way, but it wasn't the screaming, you know what I'm saying? So you know, I learned a lot from Hassel. Sergeant First Class James Hassel was a great guy, one of my favorites. I learned a lot from him as far as leadership, and he squared me away. He squared me away as far as, you know, I've been pulled to the side after briefing the platoon, like, hey, Jason. He said just like this, hey, Jason, you got to get your shit together, you know, because I want you, you know, because once you leave us, you're going to battalion staff, you're going up, and you got to brief in front of the big boy, so you got to know how to brief, period. And that was a life, and I carry that to today, you know, James Hassel.
That's good. It kind of helped you build that base and kind of set the trajectory for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, it's you know, it's a lot of stuff. It's hard, but I mean, they hard, especially in the Army. Like, everything you did, somebody did in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So then after the infantry, what next for you?
So we came back. We came back in 06. Right at the beginning of 06, we came back. We got our block leave, and we went straight into the training cycle. Oh my God, y'all. We went straight into, like, I still had stuff coming in the mail from Iraq. I was at the range. All right, so we went straight into the training cycle, and my time as infantry was getting ready to end. And my commander, great guy. We got a history together. Great guy, but him in the garrison, oh my God, he was killing me. Like, I'm ready to go. So they sent me down to the FSC in the Army Battalion, which I thought, you know, I got there, and during this time frame, 06, a lot of officers like, look, I'm out. So so we had a company in the FSC, probably like right at 200 people. It's huge for me coming from infantry, you know, female, like, what? You got females in the unit? Oh yeah. So all the lieutenants basically got the Army in the FSC. So the support platoon leader, he gone. The maintenance platoon leader, she was gone. And the XO, he was just waiting on his refrat packet to come back from HRC so he could leave. So
wow.
So I was support platoon leader / XO. And you know, we refitted, and I really did not like support units. I really didn't. I hated it. I said, man, I had buyer's remorse. I wish I could be back at infantry companies right now, because this sucks.
Plus, the discipline level in infantry is a lot higher than your
yeah. So, you know how it is. It's kind of like a vacuum when you come back from deployment of all this bad behavior from soldiers and stuff. So it seemed, because I know y'all know what night court is. So night court in my battalion was every Friday around 1800. They would do the field grades, and I was like, every Friday I was at night court, like, because I was an XO. So since the other platoons didn't have platoon leader, guess what? I played a platoon leader at the night court, and like the drugs, the adultery, you name it, man. The litany of stuff, the cocaine, the marijuana. I know it all, man. Like I'm looking at the battalion summary, like, you up here again? Like, yep, same right here with you. So yeah, that was my transition from platoon leader to FSC XO. It's just sucked.
This was where was this at?
All at Stewart. It's at Stewart.
Oh, Stewart. Okay.
Yeah, it's all at Stewart. like I said, all my first experience was a third ID, from 04 to 09. Yeah.
Then you got into logistics.
Yeah. So I was down there. I was coming up on 36 months to make captain. So I made captain. They couldn't keep me in the FSC, obviously. So they sent me to be the brigade assistant S4, which was one of my worst experiences of my Army career. Now I know what toxic leadership is. Like, oh, that's what I was experiencing. Like, oh, that's what toxic leadership feel like.
How did it feel like?
Just it's like bullying. It's like pseudo bullying, and then like you see the other leadership just let it happen, and they know like this person is treating you bad, and like me, I didn't know any better. I had been a captain 3 days. I thought this is how it is. They treat you like trash. That's like, so that was a bad OER. If you watch my OER video, that's a bad OER. But I made it through it. I got another boss. He didn't want to go up for bat for me, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna get out the Army, and that was 2000. I said I decided in 2008 I was gonna get out the Army, but I didn't get out until 2011.
Okay, so you got out. Okay, how was that?
So tell y'all another thing that y'all probably don't know, giving up all the officer secrets right here. So 2007, remember I said that we had a litany of officers getting out, right?
Yeah. Not to step on you, but I remember we had a PA, he was a captain, and he wanted to get out, but they threw him like 40-50 grand, but he ended up staying in.
You beat me to the punch. You beat me to my punchline. So
my bad. I'm sorry.
So depending on your branch,
mm-hmm.
the MI guys, I don't know about the medical, probably got more than anybody, but the MI guys got like, want to say 40. Oof. And it went down from there. So they gave me like 25, right? So remember, I just had made captain. We were on the patch chart for 15 months. Mm-hmm. We on the patch. We came out. We never, like, I don't know if you know anything about 425. They got extended. They found out they got extended, and they found out from the news before the unit told them.
Yeah, that's that 15-month deployments.
Yeah, so I came out. We was on the patch chart for 15 months. I'm like, hold on, let me do the math. They're gonna pay me $25,000 to stay 36 months. Hell, 15 of them already gone. So that was my thing. I said, bring me my money. So I got my money. Got my money, and I did my. You see the video the coach at A&T, he say, bring me my money. Look, I got 15. I'm on the calendar for 15 months. Like, hey, let me get my money. So I got my 25. Listen, I don't know what I did with it. Probably went to a motorcycle. I don't know what I did with the money, but I got my 25 grand. And they taxed it. Ain't that's crazy. So it came out to like 17. That's messed up. They taxed a bonus, but I took the money. A lot of cats didn't take the money and got out. And around 07, 08, a lot of people got out. So that's it. So for as far as my year group, it's always going to be a shortage of the guys that still. It's always going to be a shortage of lieutenant colonels and colonels because they can't. That time period, so many people got out. You see what I'm saying? So.
Because of because of the deployments?
Yeah, people got out. Man, listen, people were doing some wild things. I'm talking just officers to get out. It was guys that even went to selections to beat the deployment. So they would go to selections, right? Knowing they're not gonna pass, but they knew that. So they would go say they go to selections today because they know in say October we deploying. So they would go to selections and fail, go to 82nd. And chill, and once their service obligation over with at 82nd, because once if you're an officer, you go to selections, they PCS you up there, and then there are selections, they send you to 82nd to go be some staff idiot or whatever, division or whatever, and then they would finish their obligation up there and be deployment free and get out of deployment. So because you are obviously y'all know about stop loss and all that stuff that was going on, but stop loss couldn't stop somebody from going to selections, if that makes sense. Yeah. So cats was doing all kind of wild stuff to get out, man, get out of the deployments, especially that 15-month till Iraq.
Yeah, because I know me and John, both of us deployed in January 07. We was at Salerno.
Oh, yeah, I got a story about Salerno too.
Yeah, so here's the thing: we was at Salerno, and when we got there, we were supposed to relieve 10th Mountain. So 10th Mountain had people that redeployed back, but they said nah. Like the plane hit the ground, and they said no, we got to go back because we got to extend it. So the family was there waiting on them. The plane hit the ground, and they said no, we got to go back.
Yo,
I was like, oh, that's
crazy.
Because
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So I said, man, come on, because when we got there, 10th Mountain was there 3 more months because they got extended. But I was like, crazy.
That's messed up. And like you look back at the surge, all it was a numbers game. Like they said they plussed up. They didn't plus up in it. They didn't send extra people. They made people stay longer, and they made people come earlier. So it's just a number thing. But did it work? I don't know. Like, who knows?
I was on the sit there to fight, man. I don't know what worked. I just wanted to come home.
Exactly. Hey, listen, I just wanted to come home too, man. Because, like I said, when I left, she's 16 now. When I left, I think she was 3 weeks when I left, and when I came back, she was walking.
Oh man!
I mean, she a full grown woman. She's walking up to the parade field. So, yes, it's like, but that's sacrifice we got to make, as men for our family, and that paid off on down the road now. And once we start talking about later in my life, and I'll tell you why it paid off.
So, as the brigade general supply officer, what kind of innovations and improvements were you able to make as that role? Man,
that job. So, as far as me as an officer, because I took my job very seriously, I never played around when it came to work. But far as when I got to that job, because I had worked so hard in that 15-month deployment, I figured myself would be an expert at logistics, and that was the point. It's like, remember Neo when he started seeing the Matrix?
Yeah.
Remember that part? That's how I felt. I felt like, oh, I can see it now, and I stopped using. Back during that time frame, I stopped using notebooks. I never took notes. I could. When I go to meetings, I write down. I use these. I use these
3x5 cards.
Yeah, I use 3x5s, and I said, I got. But if it wasn't that much notes, I would stop taking notes. I remember stuff like verbatim in meetings and stuff. So I was, like I said, I was at the height of my game, and I just knew logistics. I knew it. Like I couldn't be stopped. Like I knew it. Like my boss, I had no problems with him. My battalion commander, he begged me twice to take a company command. But remember what I said? I said I was done at 08, and I was serious. And I was serious. I was serious. Like, I'm done. I'm not gonna get done like this again. And that's what toxic leadership did to me. It ran me out the army. But I reprogrammed myself from the time that happened. That toxic stuff where they denied me of my company command. From that time to the time because I was at Carson when I was at GSO, and I deployed with them to Iraq that last time, and I felt like I couldn't be stopped. Something happened. It just being kicked in the teeth that hard. I said I'll never be put in this position again because I know too much and I'm too good at it. And
was it kind of like transitioning your mindset, or how did that work?
Like I said, I went and read 48 Laws of Power twice.
Nice.
I read it twice, and I read Napoleon Hill, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read those books. I read both. I read the Napoleon Hill probably like 3-4 times, and I came back and I felt, man, it's like, I hate to keep using the analogy, but I felt like like the Iron Man, yo, when I came back, and I couldn't be stopped. I couldn't be stopped. Like I could have did like if when I was in 4-5D, they loved me. I could have did anything I wanted, but I had my mind made up, and I was out.
Yeah.
So then you end up retiring after that?
No, I got out. I ETS. I joined the reserve, and so I said, "Look, I'm about to run a checkup. I'm too smart for this Army stuff." So I got a job for FLUR in Afghanistan. I went to Salerno as a civilian, and I worked for FLUR. And I want to make some money, which is very lucrative. It really is. But I was there for right at a year. And they blew the camp up. Like they literally blew the camp. They blew Salerno up. Like if you go to June 2nd, 2012, go look at the video. They blew the camp up. And I said, yeah. When I was infantry, it wasn't even this dangerous. I'm over here,
civilian.
It's a chain. They had a chain link fence around. I'm like, well, I got that. I'm like, hold up, where the T-walls at? Nah, there's a chain link fence around the camp.
What?
So I did that. I went back into the reserves. They liked me, so I was put on active duty orders as a reservist. I made major, and only reason I made major. So how do you make major? You didn't come to command. So the reserves looked at me on the promotion board. Is like they said, look, you have so much time forward deployed. During these time frames, we'll give you constructive credit for command. So I made major on the reserve side. I wouldn't have made major on active duty, but I made it on the reserve side. And I applied for the AGR program, and I got picked up, and I did my last 10 years on the AGR side.
Oh man, I heard AGR is the best thing smoking.
Oh, it's legit. It's legit. As long as you get somewhere decent, you don't want to end up in Timbuktu somewhere, or I ain't got nothing against Mississippi. End up in Mississippi somewhere,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I be saying for people from AGR, man, they be pretty happy when they go.
Yeah, they be pretty happy.
Their jobs be like you said. They probably be in Mississippi, but they be like in the main city. In the capital somewhere, Mississippi. But let's see, by some water or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got. I mean, it's straight. Just dealing with reservists. After being a hard charger, being in the patch chart units, then they go all the way left to the reserve that they don't know which way is up. They don't know their left foot from their right hand. Like you got to slow down. I had to slow down. Slow down. Yeah. And just try to learn the culture before you go in there. Trying to kick indoors and stuff.
Oh yeah, when I was in the 82nd for 12 years, and then leaving the 82nd, going somewhere, it definitely wasn't the same cup of tea. And I had to kind of, what's the term I'm using? I had to rethink my leadership style because they're not used to that type of leadership style that I had.
Yeah, so, direct.
Yeah, direct, and I had to tone it down, as they say. Hey, we don't do that here. This ain't the 82nd.
For me, I found that the other unit wasn't as competitive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's playing competitive.
Man, when I was there, it was E4s with Ranger tabs, 3 tabs. Like there was just schools everywhere. So that means you really had to earn a leadership spot. You had to be jump master. Like you just didn't, your resume had to speak for itself to get a leadership spot. So that put everybody in a competitive state. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that. That made me bring back to my lieutenant days. So back then we used to do at least 1 or 2 months we would do PT with the BC. So you got how many? You got at least 16 infantry lieutenants, man. Talking about these people are nuts. Like these are all type A personalities, and you want them to play football together. Like every time we do that, it would be a fight. Somebody would get in a fight. And these lieutenants what's wrong with you? The competitive atmosphere in a unit can be good, but not to the. It can be good up until the point of being toxic too, because I done seen it like it can be good, but then it becomes like almost this toxic,
cutthroat.
Yeah, cutthroat for what? It's enough room for all of us to win. And now hindsight, when I made I was like a senior captain in a major, I look back at it like, man, it's enough room for all of us to win. We have to be backstabbing and cutthroat, talking about each other, throwing each other underneath the bus. And a lot of that happened, man, believe it or not, with the lieutenant, because it depends on, how the battalion XO, he kind of work that atmosphere in the battalion, and if he on that, if he on that BS, guess what? It's a bunch of knife fights, and he love it. He sit back and watch it. But it can be productive, but it can be toxic too.
Right. I think that boils down to like that rating scheme. You know what I mean? Like you don't give a certain amount that top block because everyone can't be, cream of the crop. Everyone can't be among. I get it, but then it boils down to hey, they put him they hold him hold him accountable too. Or you have to decide which one is the best out of all of these lieutenants, and they did the same thing with like enlisted platoon sergeants, and they started doing that with enlisted too as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just depends. Like on the list side, obviously it's the first sergeant and the sergeant major who helped cultivate that culture of competitive culture, or it can be super toxic. And I don't get it all. Like it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
So then you was major, and then what do you do after that? When you made major?
I made major. They sent me to Brad. That's my first time being at Brad. As an AG, I worked at the reserve headquarters. So I never been in a 3-star headquarters, and like literally, man, I hope nobody ain't watching that was one of my Raiders, but I did not know what was going on for 6 months, man. Like I was just coming to work. Going to my cubicle, man. Like I don't know what's going on. They tell me to be somewhere, I'll be there. But like as far as the work, I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hey, they were just sending you to meetings, and you taking the 3x5 cards.
Listen, I'll take the 3x5 cards. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just here, but finally, I figured it out for myself. Nobody taught me. I figured it out for myself, and I ain't trying to toot my own horn. But I was a rock star at that too. I figured it out on my own. So just being thrown into a 3-star headquarters with coming straight from basically a line unit, and I didn't know what was going on, but we figured it out.
Where'd you work at on Bragg? Where was the building at? Was this like the 18th Airborne Corps building?
Yeah, Force Com building.
Okay.
Yeah, so where 18th Airborne Corps?
Yeah.
I was in a big building that's down the other side of Polo Field.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah.
You see it now, man. That thing is like a fortress.
It does, yeah.
Listen, man. Oh my God, I spent so much time in that building. Like it's that's where lieutenant colonels and colonels go to die. Not literally die, but retire.
Right.
Cause listen, I retired out of there too, so I get it, bro.
Right. Like, you got to use that brain power in there, man.
You definitely got to use some brain power. A bunch of talking and sending emails to each other and getting nothing accomplished. We still have the same project next year. So it was hard.
I used to see them skits. They're like, this officers be like, and then they'll see them typing, and then they'll look over the next cubicle, waiting for them to smile or did you get my email?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I would get with the GSs and the contractors, like those guys have nothing to do. Something like I'll send an email to a guy, he'll come up from the second floor and he'll like, hey, get my email. It's just an excuse for him to come up there, and an hour later we talking about football or old war stories. I'm like, man, you do this 3 times, you'll be off. So we had a major, and literally he would do that. He would float from cubicle to cubicle. It'd be like 30 minutes a piece. He would talk. He could talk too. So he'll go to your cubicle, say, man, well, you know what? I mean, bro. And he'll go to the next person's cubicle and he'll talk for an hour. He'll go to the next person. Next thing you know, it's time to go to lunch. You do it 3 more times, and that's the end of the day for him.
Listen, man, I hated emails. Emails was like a second job.
Oh, it can be.
Man, you get back from training or the field, and next thing you know, Sergeant Major or the colonel, like you get out emails for, you got emails, you got to go out work and just answer, reply to, send
Yeah,
in paperwork, stuff supposed to got signed. I'm like, it's a whole nother job.
yeah. An email is crazy, crazy. Like
How
I
was?
know one of my boxes had like 2,000 in it.
Oh man,
Just CC, people get crazy with CC button. Like, I don't need to see this, man. Like,
They got to
what?
be. I mean, people used to try to correct me on emails, like, "Hey, man, you didn't put a subject title in here."
What? Like, man, leave me alone.
you
I used
used
to have, I used to have an officer tell me before we send out an email, let him check it.
My boss, my toxic boss is like that.
I'm like this is like it was a second job for emails, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
She like, don't email so and so without letting me see it.
Yeah, they really thought that it was being judged off the email.
like, don't use too many capital letters. It's like you yelling at me.
Oh my God! Don't get me started. Listen, these killers, right? These supposed to kill combat people. Army, the combat. It's supposed to be tough, right?
Oh my god! But one time though, I did write some lieutenant colonel. She was a female, and instead of saying yes, ma'am, I put yes, mama.
Autocorrect.
I had a lot of people CC'd on it, and then one of my captains came in, man. He was like, he just showed it to me. He's like, you put yes, mama.
Yeah, because it won't pick it up. It's spelled correctly.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, it happens. I think she understands.
It's spelled correctly. It won't pick it up.
Yeah, that was funny to me though.
She's like, you trying to take me out, first sergeant?
Yes,
man, so tell us about this training officer.
Yeah, that's the job I was just talking about. Yeah. So basically, at that level, I would plan training out for units on the reserve side. So they gave me MI units, which I don't know why. They gave me MI ordnance units, and I was planning MI training and ordnance training for those guys and girls. I try to get 3 years out, and once I figured out that job, man, I would do all my stuff. Probably it would take me probably a month to do a year, and
Holy crap!
yeah. So I'd knock it out, and guess what? While I was sitting there chilling, I was taking ILE, and I was doing my masters. So I took advantage of that, try to push it out and be on top of stuff, and it was just real chill job. But it was chill because I did all my work up front. I didn't play around with it. I've seen a lot of guys and girls play around with it, and they be scrambling, right before we had a training conference with ForceCom, trying to get their unit scheduled. Jason's done. Huh? I'm done. I'm chilling.
And how was your PT? How was PT then?
See, during that time, it wasn't no PT. They would do a run once a month. Other than that, it come PT test time, you on your own. And that's when I never seen you could submit a memo to get out of PT test until I got there. I'm like, what is this about? Like, what? Just take the PT test. Put down the cheeseburger and take the PT test, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like if people do memos to stretch out the weight, the height and weight, I'm like, what? Yeah. So yeah, that's my time at USART / ForceCom. It was interesting.
What did the memo have to say?
It's a memo. Just basically some kind of circumstance, or not. It's just a circumstance you have to put in the memo that why you can't take it, and they'll accept it.
So, like, if you was maybe, let's say you had a profile or something like that.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Profile is something totally different. Yeah.
Crazy.
He's like, really? Look at you, like, really? Yeah.
So your excuse had to be written down versus told.
These
Who was signed? This memo had to be signed off by who?
You signed it yourself,
and it was good to go.
Good to go, man.
I would just have to put in the records in case you was inspected or something.
Yeah,
no.
this deep. Hey, listen, this deep down, buried in the regulations somewhere. But people figured it out because they, it was a lot of lieutenant colonels walking around there in their second trimester with them big stomachs. So they had to. They tried to skip that PT test, man. So
that's crazy.
Hey,
I remember when the units, when they come through and inspect all of the policies and make sure they're hanging up, they go through all the books, the training, and the PT. But they would send another unit to come inspect you, specifically like a unit higher up. So
CSDP.
Right. So I remember you had to have a memo there for what soldiers was not there or couldn't take a PT test, and usually we just write a whole bunch of names with their social, and then that would cover the guys that when they would take the PT test. So you did have a memo. That probably was just to cover cover their own butts.
Yeah, so like that those HHC jobs, commanders for those 3-star and 4-star commands, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man, because those commanders, because like it's just a politics. It's really politics because they get that commander from inside the building, right? So then they have to go across the street to be the HHC commander over your former boss or your boss after your command. So you gotta walk a tightrope. You can't be like, hey, Lieutenant Colonel John, you need a shave, blah blah blah. You need to. Why you went at my PT test this morning? Because it, that pays consequences too. It really does. But
that's probably why I need the memos. Because write me a memo.
I would think, hey, you got to write this memo so they can look and they say, well, you used this excuse last year.
But see, a lot the commander in the first side didn't want that smoke. So like, all right, whatever you say, sir.
I was there when they would just write them a PT test.
Yeah.
They go out and they come back with their own PT test, like they had a witness, and they was good to go. Sergeant majors too.
They burnt somebody for that too. They burnt somebody at Fort Bragg for that. Like burnt, like UCMJ, like burnt.
Well, whoever that was, they were really high on. They really wanted PT.
Yeah, so gotta be careful.
All right, so you finished up your time at Bragg, and now it's time for retirement. Walk us through, retiring, getting out, and your plans moving forward.
So, like I said, I retired. I kind of had a plan. I don't have a plan. I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm gonna go to school for certified financial planner. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I wrote a book about soldier finance, soldiers financial handbook uncut. It's me cutting and stuff about finances and my story as far as finances and seeing people mess it up. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. But right now, I ain't doing nothing. Y'all retired. So what I did, I do role players. I got a couple of companies. They call me every once in a while when they need a role player. So if y'all ain't doing that, you can make nice money, like $400 a day money. But that all over, man. I did one I just came. Remember I told you I was in Michigan. So I was in Michigan. I did that one for 10 days, and I did one in JRTC for 17 days. But the one in Michigan, they paid pretty good. And I did one back in February at in Indiana. That sucked. They had us staying in barracks. So don't do no barracks, man. If they call you like, hey, we want you to come out here and be a role player, you stay in barracks. Like, man, hang up the phone. Don't do it.
Hey, Indiana's right up the road for me though.
Oh yeah, you can drive to it, but I ain't staying no barracks, man. I stayed at Oak Bay Barracks back in February. Bro, I am old for this, yo. It smelled like you know what in there, man.
Yeah.
So the role player, I mean, you got to be a good actor.
It ain't bad, man. Like, so we train the SFAB units. They getting ready to deploy. I know y'all know SFAB, right?
Yeah, the advisory. Yeah.
Rebranded MIT team. That's all it is with their own unit. So So the role player job is to act like you're a foreign country officer. Like I do, I play an S4 for basically Ukraine. The last one we did was like Taiwanese for Taiwanese on it. So it's super easy, man. Like I advise. I had an E5 advisor. I talked to him about an hour a day, and that's it, man. Just chilling.
Getting 400 a day.
The most important part of that job is the networking, man. As far as the networking, because like you never meet that many retired officers and NCOs, and good guys. Everybody want to share stuff. Like the one in Michigan. Matter of fact, another retiree sent me that I had met. So it's an easy gig, man. 11 days. Come on, man. Y'all guys been deployed for years. 11 days ain't nothing. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna probably go to school this fall. I got a new baby, so
congrats on that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I probably see that bottle back in the background, but yeah. So
well, I just started over myself. I just started school. I just got through with my first semester, but I'm doing a whole different thing. I'm doing audio engineering now to produce music and do live sound and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely a change of pace. But what's good about the school I go to, it's all hands on pretty much.
Oh, good.
So that's how I excel, hands on. So it's definitely good. So
as for myself, I went for business and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And I started Swaggy Vets.
Yes, he did.
Oh, you the founder?
Yeah, he's the founder.
That's good, man. I mean, y'all making waves, man. Continue to put up, like, be consistent with, posting content, man. You'll be all right. It'll pick up. You just gotta like me. You gotta keep, dropping stuff every so often. I know y'all probably, like I said when we was talking earlier, that writer's block, like you run out of ideas. You run out of ideas is a real thing.
That's right.
One of the great things about the veteran community, though, is when I see veterans doing something, I always try to support no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's what's really good about the veteran community is we get behind each other and we love to support other veterans, whatever endeavors that they're doing. So that's what I love about the veteran community. And that's why we're so, gung-ho about doing stuff like this, talking with different people. And we're really trying to get out more networking. Like you said, networking is like so crucial.
Yeah.
In doing stuff nowadays, especially with social media or whatever you're trying to do. So I just feel blessed. And my brother John, he's kind of given me a new outlook on life because when I first got out, I didn't know what I was doing.
How long you been out?
I got out October 2019. Oh,
so you've been out for a minute. How it feel?
It was great.
How long
I should have took a knee and faced out, but I didn't. I went right to work. I went to the oil field, started hauling oil, and it was just, and then going from job to job. I really was trying to, what they say, find yourself.
Yeah.
But my brother John was like, hey man, I need somebody on the team. And I was like, yeah, I'm there. And it's giving me a whole nother outlook on everything, giving me a whole new, fresh perspective.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of saved me. So I'm just blessed.
That's good.
Yeah. So, brother, can you tell us? So you did a lot since you've been in the service. Like you went from your HBCU, coming from a small town out of South Carolina to retired lieutenant colonel. Now you role player. You're creating your future. All right. So what would you give yourself advice if you can go back and give yourself advice again about the military? What would it be?
Nothing really. More far as my personal life, invest more. Being on top of my money, because I was a motorcycle guy for a minute, man. I probably didn't spend at least $100,000 on cars, and at least no way over $100,000 on cars and motorcycles and stuff. So I would go back and tell myself just to invest more
Mm-hmm.
earlier and often. But as far as the military service, I wouldn't change nothing about it. Ain't nothing I can do to change it, but just I like to pass along, especially if you got officers, watching this, is be user friendly, be responsive, and know how to brief. If you can do them three things, you gonna get promoted. But people don't know how to do those three things. It come hard to some people, but I learned that somewhat early about those three things, and it paid off in the end. So a lot of people don't get that, but that's okay because a lot of people don't excel to 05 and better. But but I want people to win. I really do. And like I said, with vets, I just like seeing vets win because a lot of people don't know our struggle and know how hard or how stupid it can be, growing up in the Army, and especially in your youth, because it take your whole 20s. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, like your whole 20s, like you probably spent your 25th birthday or Christmas in a doggone fart sack on the range somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it take your 20s and everything you get after you retire. I about to say graduate. After you retire, I feel like graduate. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve that freedom. You deserve everything that's coming your way, because the military is like only 1% of our population in this country. 100%. So yeah, so salute to y'all. Thank y'all for y'all service, man.
You as well, brother.
Yeah.
What do you got going on now? I know you talked about you do videos and content. Where can people reach you?
YouTube, Objective Hustler. I'm on Instagram, Not a Financial Advisor, and that's about it, man. On Facebook, JC Oxner on Facebook.
I'll put all your socials and everything down in the description so everybody can reach you if they have any questions. So
tell them reach me. I'll tell them the truth about how it works. Well, I bring them to reality.
Yeah, because
it's on the officer side. It's a lot of NCO talking, but a lot of officers don't explain. There's no real content out there explaining like how it really works. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to circumventing the system or being in the system, being a part of the culture. Because an officer, you have to understand the culture, and you have to, for lack of a better term, fit in the culture. Because if you don't, that's cool. A lot of people don't, but that's cool. And it pays negatively when it comes time for positions and promotion and those top blocks. Mm-hmm. So you can be a superstar, but if you're a-hole, it'll reflect. But that's what I try to prevent. But I do get a lot of clean up on aisle 7 calls from people that's still in and trying to mop up a mess situation when we could have been proactive in the beginning to keep you out of that situation, by having your mind right on how it really worked within your formation.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, man. Good talking to y'all, man.
Yeah, we do appreciate your service. And we also appreciate you for coming and share your story here on the Swag Event Podcast.
Man, I thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
Absolutely. You got anything in closing, Battle?
No, brother, just I appreciate it. And I appreciate you too, Ken, man, for everything that you do, man. I can't go without saying thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
You my boy. You my boy.
Good boy, Blue. All right. Nothing else, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for coming on again, Jason.
All right, man. Y'all enjoy y'all rest of y'all day.
All right.
Peace.